Hello, it's Nationwide. Today, Sunday, 10th March 2024. My name is Ogochukwu Ona, and we are transmitting live from Abuja. Now we'll begin from the church, where clerics have advocated increased participation of women in politics and governance, describing them as agents of development. This formed part of messages delivered in some churches in Abuja on the commemoration of this year's Mothering Sunday. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
It is the Mothering Sunday, a day to appreciate women for their resilience and sacrifices. At the Cathedral of Unity, Methodist Church, Abuja, the church is recognizing the roles of women in character molding and is charging them to rise and build a more sustainable society.
Because we know that when they give them that opportunity, not only will they rise, but they will also build credible nation, they will build credible children, they will build a future for us in which we all will be proud of.
We need to mold our children. We need to rebuild the fallen walls in our societies as women. We need to come alive and build what is expected of us.
At the Transfiguration Church Anglican Communion, this drama by the children's class tells the story of the endless roles women play in society. The church is also urging them to remain prayerful in the face of economic problems and security challenges in the country.
The role of a mother at this time, both for the family, the children, the husband, the nation, is to keep praying for a better Nigeria. And we should keep doing that which we know to do best, be supportive.
Coming on the heels of International Women's Day, the women are canvassing for increased investment in women to accelerate progress in society. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Peace, unity and national coexistence among Nigerians is the focus of this year's Mother's Day celebration. Omenka Marachuku reports that the Mothers Union of the NTA Chapel of Resurrection, Abuja, joined their counterparts to mark the day.
Those songs of praise formed part of activities marking the Mother's Day celebration as a focal point in women's rights movement, recognizing the significance of the day. These women here are using the event as a reminder for all to always uphold the virtues and dignity of women.
The mothers have been taking care of the children, and they said in every successful man there is a woman behind him. In every successful child, there is a mother behind that child.
Mothers being the strong pillars of the home that we are by the grace of God holding forth the home and trying our best to see that the home front comes out well.
Be faithful to God. Don't bother about the problem that happened in this country. We know that one day it turned for good.
We are supposed to be support systems to our husbands, to our mother-in-laws, to our children, to the entire family at large.
These women also use the day to offer prayers for unity and growth of the nation. In Abuja, Omenka Marachuku, NTA News.
And now the Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, has asked Muslims to look for the new moon of Ramadan today, Sunday 10th of March 2024. A statement by Professor Sambo Wali Junaidu, Chairman, Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, says Sunday is 29th of Shaban, 1445 after Hijrah, and the day to look for the new moon of Ramadan. The sighting of the new moon should be reported through the following numbers for all-word communication to the Sultan. As this year's Ramadan fast approaches, Muslims, especially the women folk, are advised to take advantage of the benefits of the holy month to intensify prayer and redouble efforts towards feeding the needy and the Muslim Ummah in general. This is coming during the annual pre-Ramadan lecture series organized by the Federation of Muslim Women Association of Nigeria, FCT chapter. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim reports.
It is a spiritual season when Muslims are expected to rededicate their time to worship. The season, however, comes with a lot of food processing for the family or almsgiving at dawn. And so, Muslim women from across the Federal Capital Territory are gathered here for the pre-Ramadan lecture.
You can never be humiliated. You help the distressed. You help the orphans. You help the needy. And you take care of your relatives. So I am sure Allah will not disappoint you. Oh, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Islamic scholars say there is reward in cooking and sharing of food. They, however, reminded women on the spiritual benefit of the period while emulating Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his household.
Serving the family is one of the roles assigned to them by Allah, but it's notwithstanding they cannot abandon the role of Allah because they are serving the family. Or they are cooking and whatever. They should cook at the same time, take care of their ibadat and do the best they can to try to achieve something this much.
For us to achieve what we are bargaining for, what we are bidding for, that is the Jannatul Firdaus, we need to bring our women close to us and invest in them and make their future bright so that the family will keep moving and will succeed.
This is in addition to a general reminder for Muslims to pray for Nigeria and uphold the spirit of neighborliness. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
And away from religious matters now, that promotes local content as a major game changer in the economic recovery plans of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, has assured Nigerians that the ministry would promote indigenous resources, skills and capacities through the creation of more opportunities for local contractors in the construction industry. He gave the assurance during the inspection of the repairs of flood section of the East-West Road and the rehabilitation of the Benin-Warri Road in Delta State. Ifoma Okafo reports.
The East-West Road, linking vital commercial hubs of Warri and Port Harcourt, is again receiving the federal government's attention. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, is taking steps to relieve the roads of its challenges.
There is no need of carrying the two carriageway where we don't have money to even finish one. So the idea is continue with the existing one, overrise it, put stone base of 20 cm within the carriageway, and then make provision for a new shader of 1 meter. I believe that the controller will sit up on all her projects so that you pursue whatever the contractor is looking for, and then we reach agreement.
In every project site visited, the minister introduces more economical engineering solutions which resonate with contractors of like minds. He rounded off his inspection with a check at the rehabilitation of the Warri Sapele Road Section 3 and the Benin-Warri Road Rehabilitation Section 2. Ifoma Okafo, NTA News.
The federal government is investing in infrastructure across rural communities in Nasarawa State to address infrastructural deficits, boost rural economy, and accelerate development. Aliyu Tijani reports that the intervention is with the support of the World Bank.
13.7 billion naira released for infrastructure projects across rural areas of Nasarawa State in recognition of the state outstanding performance in project execution of World Bank support program. The Nigerian COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus (NGCAS). benefiting communities selected from each of the 13 local government areas of the state with priority on areas of need.
Most of our projects are always utilized, I would say all are always utilized and being protected by the community, because there's that community ownership and the community are given, the opportunity to drive it.
One of the things that is going to give us this number one again is for us to be the first state that will be able to compile everything we have done. This road we have finished it cost us 3 million. This place we have done it cost us 20 million. This borehole we have constructed, it cost us 30 million. Once we do that, we compile. That's what you call accountability.
In addition, the social investment component of the program targets vulnerable persons as beneficiaries of the cash transfer every month, as rural dwellers describe the intervention as apt and timely. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
And now to education matters. The book, The Number One Mission, which captures the multifaceted nature of diplomacy, has been presented to Nigerians to further highlight vital roles of diplomacy in shaping national history. Deborah Balagbobo has details.
The 97-page book is designed to document records of experience, progress achieved, and a roadmap for the future. The author, Yemi Edu, says the pages of the book are expected to equip readers with deeper understanding of modalities of diplomacy.
We need to push out some positive narratives, and these are what our forebearers have done. These are what we are doing now, so that when people look behind, they will know that people exist and there were benchmarks for our own time as well.
Chairman NIDCOM Abike Dabiri Arewa, alongside other stakeholders, described the book as a testament to the rich tapestry of experience and emotions.
We could sit in London feeling pretty, but it's gone beyond that to give back, to make a contribution, and that is why the Diaspora Commission supports people like Mr. Yemi Edu.
Stakeholders, sponsors, to do everything to keep this book alive, to give it the deserved attention.
Every literary contribution has to be supported and appreciated. And for those of us who like history, who believe in documentation, we need more people to tell the Nigerian story.
The unique twist, according to the author, is that the proceeds will be given to charity. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubo, NTA News.
Funding, inadequate number of qualified teachers, as well as low integration of information technology in education are among issues being discussed at a two-day retreat for members of the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education and Services. Clement Barikwi reports that the retreat in Uyo is organized by the Universal Basic Education Commission.
Seated in this hall are basic education stakeholders from the state and national levels, whose mission at this retreat is to discuss basic education implementation in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and way forward.
Human resources is a major issue that we need to address if we want to save basic education. We are responsible for ensuring that every child has access to quality basic education through proper legislation.
Without a good foundation, there's no way we can build a better future.
The UBEC Act since 2004 had not been touched. It has been the same law that had and a lot of changes have taken place.
Statistics by the Universal Basic Education Commission shows that within the 2 decades of UBE implementation in the country, the program has recorded increase in the number of basic education schools, which stands at 171,027. Stakeholders are optimistic that this will increase once the outcomes of this retreat are implemented. Clement Barikui, NTA News.
I'll be stepping aside now as we go over to Lagos, where Michael is to take the next set of reports. Hello, Michael. Good afternoon.
Hello, Ogo. Good to see you.
A state or nation cannot achieve its full potential if a significant population, which is the girl child, is left behind. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stated this at the celebration of the year 2024 International Women's Day at the Onikan Stadium, Lagos. S.A. Wamaka reports.
The 2024 International Women's Day celebration was marked with pomp and pageantry as various women groups across the state thronged the Onikan Stadium to mark the special day. Delivering the keynote address on behalf of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Obafemi Hamzat stressed that the role of women in nation building cannot be underestimated, hence the need for government and the private sector to collaborate and promote gender equality and social inclusion in the society.
Let us therefore work earnestly together, regardless of physical ability, to create a more equitable, inclusive, and just society where everyone has the opportunity to achieve their full potential. On this special day, I would like to express my gratitude to all the women who have contributed and still contributing in diverse but significant ways to the growth and development of Lagos State.
Let us be creative, innovative as women, and at the same time, let us try and encourage one another. Let us accelerate whatever we're doing so that we can encourage our women to be the best at all times.
In their separate remarks, all the stakeholders encouraged women to remain resilient and focused in achieving life goals.
By providing women with equal opportunities, resources, and support, we can create a more just, equitable, and prosperous society for generations to come.
Gone were the days when women had no position. In Nigeria, they were supposed to be seen, not heard. But things are changing now. And that's why we are celebrating the women who have achieved acceleration in personal, family, and nation development. Build the women, build the nation.
Accomplishing this year's theme requires our joint efforts and a shared vision of a future in which every woman's full potential is achieved.
The theme of the annual International Women's Day celebration observed on March 8 is Count Her In, accelerating gender equality through economic empowerment. In Lagos, S.A. Owamaka, NTA News.
Many bank customers are at the risk of being denied access to their accounts if the Central Bank of Nigeria's directive mandating customers to link their accounts with their national identity number NIN is implemented. Jopopola reports that while some account holders have complied, many are not aware of the directive.
Nigerians are accustomed to complying with directive when the deadline is fast approaching. This culture of procrastination is rearing its ugly head again, with many awaiting restrictions on their bank accounts before doing the needful. This security guard who has just received his NIN slip is eager to link his NIN with the bank accounts to guarantee his salary.
I did not hear when they announced it. Then as I console the message yesterday, that's why I'm rushing to go and work on it.
Other salary earners like him have done the needful to ensure each free transaction.
I use my bank app. Through my bank app, I just put in the NIN number, and that was it.
I've linked my NIN to my bank, even though to all my SIM I'm using, I've linked all the NIN to my SIM.
It's not that difficult, but I see a lot of people, they will go to the bank, they will queue off, in fact, some they will even fight.
The culture of procrastination and taking things for granted, respondents say contradicts quest for national development.
Not until government say, okay, I give you 30 days. Before we now be running everywhere, we are running from one place to another. It's very good. When government introduce something to you, just go ahead and do it.
That's part of our culture, to put it like that. Last minute rush. There are some rural areas that accessibility is an issue, so you have to consider those ones as well.
Many are ignorant of the directive of the CBN and the implication associated with the delay.
I don't know we have to link in with bank account. I only know with our SIM card, with our line. I don't know of the bank account.
Most of the banks are yet to implement the CBN's directive, even as many customers are still taking the directive for granted. In Lagos, Joel Ukbola, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide continues in Sokoto shortly after this break. Do stay.
Everyone, and welcome to Sokoto. The federal and state governments are strengthening collaboration with relevant stakeholders towards providing a safe and secured environment for schools across the country. This is the thrust of a retreat on academic community security organized by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Students' Engagement in collaboration with Zamfara State Government. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The Nigerian education sector is one of the areas most affected by the security challenges bedeviling the country, as manifested in the cases of students' abduction from schools. Gathered here are some critical stakeholders in the state education sector attending an academic security retreat on unconventional approach to complement Safe Schools initiative of government at all levels. The retreat, organized by the Office of Senior Special Assistant to the President on Students' Engagement in collaboration with Zamfara State Government, draws participants from students and their union leaders, as well as officials of students' affairs units of secondary schools and tertiary institutions in the state. Two papers were presented by some officers of the Department of State Service and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, which largely centered on effective utilization of unconventional approach to addressing security challenges, especially in schools. The presenters, who underscored the importance of appropriate community participation in the quest to achieving a peaceful school environment, emphasized that security is everybody's business.
And I can assure you that every issues that we have discussed today, will make sure we come up with a report and send to Mr. President, and Mr. Governor will also get his copy, and the Minister of Education and every other stakeholders will also have their copy to see how we can secure our campuses, the students, the staffs, and every property on our campuses.
We are going to partner with the federal government to ensure that there is a very secure environment for our students at all levels of education, be it the basic, the senior secondary, and the tertiary, because unless you have a secure environment, no quality academic activity will take place.
There were comments and suggestions from the participants on the papers delivered at the event, even as they expressed readiness to support the initiative. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Women pharmacists have again advocated gender equity, removal of barriers and stereotype regulation of women to the background to enable them contribute more to societal development. This was an event to commemorate the 2024 International Women's Day in Sokoto.
Aside their traditional roles in the family, the contributions of women cut across spheres of human endeavor. It is against this backdrop that lady pharmacists in Sokoto State gathered to celebrate the invaluable contributions of women to peace and development of Nigeria, and to reflect on the challenges of women in pharmacy and the health sector. Dr. Asiyata Abubakar Bagudu, Department of Adult Education and Extension Services, Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, noted that Nigerian women are economically disadvantaged despite performing multiple tasks to keep the society afloat.
There are certain bottlenecks in the policy structure, in the organizational structure of our education system, of our professions, and also in our employment.
So I want to encourage Nigerians in various parastatals. You will always have women. Try to include them in your various plans and other things, because they have their quota, they have their own knowledge to bring to the table.
In their goodwill messages, Chairman Pharmacy Society of Nigeria, Sokoto State Chapter, Abubakar Muhammad Amali, and Director of Pharmaceutical Services, Sokoto State Ministry of Health, Muhammad Habibu, pharmacist Ibrahim Halurubinji, and Dr. Hafsat Shehu asked for investment in pharmaceutical development and arrest of brain drain in the country's health sector. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Well, that's the size of our package here in Sokoto. Nationwide, we'll continue with Ogochibuka in Abuja.
Thank you, Nana. Welcome back to Abuja. The federal government is leveraging on cutting-edge technology through digitization and adequate funding to deliver quality healthcare services to Nigerians in line with its renewed hope agenda to transform the sector. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, stated this at a regular meeting of the medical directors of federal tertiary hospitals in Nigeria held in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Hakim Jimo completes the report.
The meeting brought members of the Committee of Chief Medical Directors and Medical Directors of Federal Tertiary Hospitals in Nigeria and other stakeholders together to chart the way forward on the global trends in the health sector. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, expresses the determination of the federal government to truly transform the sector through adequate funding.
And this money, the President has mandated us to spend it to improve infrastructure in our hospitals, to improve infrastructures in our primary healthcare centers. The President is also working on comprehensive package, welfare package for healthcare workers, and more so the entire workers in the country.
The Medical Director, Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta, Professor Adewale Musa Olumu, and others appreciate the federal government for its unwavering support to federal tertiary hospitals across the country.
If we have power supply adequately in all our hospitals, we can assure you that we perform far, far better.
There is, however, renewed hope for us with the prioritization of the health sector under President Tinubu's health sector renewal initiative.
The minister thereafter led the delegation to inaugurate a number of state-of-the-art ultramodern projects within the premises of the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta, which includes molecular laboratory, resident doctors' lounge, isolation center, intensive care unit, office complex, internal audit building in Abeokuta. Akim Jimoh, NTA News.
Former President Muhammad Buhari has applauded the developmental policies and programs of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration aimed at changing the fortunes of the country. The former Nigerian leader was speaking when he received in audience the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, who was on a working visit to border communities in Katsina State. Suleiman Kodogi reports.
The former President Muhammadu Buhari urged Nigerians to endure the current economic hardship and support the policies and programs of the present administration, explaining that there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
I thank you very much for coming. I very much appreciate it. And I thought Tinubu has done very well. But Nigeria is so complex, that really there isn't much anybody can do.
Earlier, the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, lauded the former president for transforming the Nigerian Customs Service while in office, adding that the service will not relent in securing trans-border activities aimed at boosting Nigeria's economy. The customs boss, in the company of his management team and the Controller Katsina Area Command, Umar Muhammad, also paid homage to the Emir of Daura, Umar Farouk Umar, for his support and royal blessings. At the Kongalam Control Post in Mehadua local government area of the state, the Customs Controller General engaged stakeholders in the border communities, where he assured that consultations are ongoing for the reopening of borders.
This is one strategy that Mr. President feels can help us to address the problem of food security. So those foods that we have seized, those ones that are banned for exports, by the time we restock our markets with these food items, it will have some positive effects on the prices.
The border communities commended the efforts and determination of the federal government, but appealed for timely reopening of land borders to enhance and facilitate trade, which will translate to more revenue generation for the country. The Controller General of Customs also visited other borders, including Meadwa Outstation. In Katsina, Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
Stakeholders in security management as well as political office holders have been enjoined to close ranks in combating attacks on Benue communities. Governor Hyacinth Alia made the call during his visit to Bagil community in Okom local government area, where scores of people were reportedly killed by suspected armed herders. Elias Itiav brings us more details.
This is what is left of Bagi community in Ukulu government area, which came under attack recently by suspected armed herders, resulting to the loss of more than 30 lives and destruction of property.
Around 7 a.m., I hear a gunshot from this house. Then from that I run away from the house. Before I could remember, I heard that people are killed from my house.
Then they asked me to call the DPO and call for the enforcement, which I did. Then I followed the DPO and some security people that we came here to discover that this place was went down and so many people were killed.
On a closer and more inquiries, we discovered that there is a stubborn youth here called Che, who actually offended the Fulani people. He rushed their cows, kidnapped some of their men, collected ransom, and refused to release them.
Ghana Hyacinth earlier, while appreciating efforts of security agencies in bringing calm to the community, warned against shielding criminal elements amongst them who may be inciting violence.
If you are sponsoring any militia gang, which some of them are, and the traditional leaders have pointed out, let them step back. Their communities, the families in their local governments here are larger than them.
Pointing out that the government will deal decisively with any individual or group of persons causing havoc in the state. From Okunlogo government area, Elias, ATF, NTA News.
In the meantime, Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State has attributed the successes recorded in the fight against all forms of crime and criminality in the state on the cordial working relationship with all these security agencies. This is the governor's remark while interacting with Bauchi Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Our Abdullahi has that report.
Possible mechanisms that will help in the establishment of an improved modalities is a major objective that this interface is trying to achieve. The idea is to identify the bottleneck for the enhancement of synergy between the state government and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps.
It is therefore not out of place to recount in recent times the successes of the command in areas of arrest and prosecutions of several high-profile offences which are related to kidnapping, robbery, vandalizations, as well as rises in indicator to the progress of the state.
First responsibility for government or governance is the provision of safety and security. We must be able to employ more civil defense officers so that with all these unmanned areas, unmanned spaces, other complementary agencies will do the work of the police and the army. And of course, the rule of engagement must be correct, and they must be given equipment to protect themselves.
An award was presented to the state governor in recognition of his efforts toward maintaining peace and the development of the state. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted a consignment of illicit drug concealed in the engine compartment of an interstate commercial bus, just as two aged men were taken into custody over drug trafficking. Zinret Digmun reports.
Over 5 kg of cannabis sativa and opioids were discovered in the engine compartment of the vehicle along Bongan-Ibadan Road, Osun State, by NDLEA officers on stop-and-search operation on the highway. The bus driver who took responsibility for the concealment was taken into custody for further investigation. The agency also arrested a lady who produces and distributes coochies during a raid on her hideout in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, and at least 16.5 liters of the illicit substance and different quantities of Molly and cannabis were recovered from her during the raid. In Borno State, NDLEA operatives arrested 2 aged men for drug trafficking on Saturday, 9th March, along with 2 others, while 32,000 ampoules of tramadol injection were recovered from them. Operatives at Gaidam in Yobe State also intercepted a Golf 3 saloon car heading to Gagamari in Niger Republic, where the occupant was to deliver 40 blocks of cannabis to another dealer, while 42 cartons containing over 8,000 bottles of codeine syrup were also recovered from another driver at Katsina Road, Kaduna, on Tuesday, 5th March. In Kano State, A suspect was arrested with 62 kg cannabis at Gada Tamburawa area. Another was also nabbed with 244 bottles of codeine syrup, while the third was found with 48,800 pills of tramadol along Kano Maiduguri Road on Thursday, 7th March. Meanwhile, NDLEA operatives in Lagos State on Wednesday, 6 March arrested one suspect at Igbo Elering area of the state, where 84 liters of scoochies, 1.1 liters of codeine syrup, 4 kg cannabis sativa, and 800 tablets of tramadol were seized from him. 8 suspects were arrested on Friday, 8th March, when NDLEA officers raided the notorious Karu Abattoir drug joint in the FCT, with 51 kg of cannabis recovered from them. In Plateau State, 2 suspects were on Monday, 4th March, arrested with cannabis weighing 611 kg at Zawanjo South, while in Kogi State, NDLEA officers intercepted a commercial J5 bus coming from Onitsha, Anambra State to Zaria, Kaduna State on Wednesday, 6th March along Okene-Lokoja Abuja Expressway, where a total of 8,580 pills of tramadol and Exol 5 were seized from a suspect. Operatives in Enugu on Tuesday, 5th March, raided some locked-up shops at the New Market, where 371.42 kg cannabis and 9.49 grams of methamphetamine were recovered. While commending the efforts of operatives for jobs well done in the past week, Chairman NDLEA Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa charged them not to rest on their oars as they continue to intensify their drug supply reduction and drug demand reduction activities. Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
And to other matters now, 5,000 women in Osun State will benefit from a 40 million naira microcredit scheme to support their businesses and livelihood. The scheme was launched by the Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, Bamidele Salam, at Ede in Osun State.
Fourth in the series are Georgia Women Microgrants and Microcredit Scheme by the Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, Honorable Bamidele Salam, is to empower women economically in its Ede North, Ede South, Egbedore, Ejigbo Federal Constituency in Osun State. The 40 million naira loan-free credit program is designed to be accessible to women from all walks of life.
If you know something about women, they are very good at multiplication. They multiply whatever is given to them, and then they have more discipline, they have more coordination when it comes to small-scale trading.
Wife of the governor, Mrs. Titilola Adeleke, praised Honorable Salam for his commitment to advancing gender equality and empowering women to achieve their full potentials.
They have to use that money wisely. They should not use it for any other thing than their trading, so that it will boost their business.
Honorable Salam's initiative comes at a crucial time where women around the world continue to face significant barriers to economic empowerment and financial independence.
As a mother at home, there are many petty businesses that we need to do that we don't have enough capital to carry out. But with this empowerment, it will help us to enlarge our business.
He supports us all the time. Even during the Valentine time, he gives us a lot of food and money. So our honorable is doing a lot of things for us.
Beyond the empowerment program, women also celebrated the International Women's Day with various competitions. From Ede, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
We'll be having more reports now from Maiduguri as I hand over to Abubakar for more reports. Hello, Abubakar.
It's good to see you, Ogochukwuka, and thank you for joining us. The International Women's Day is marked on a serious note in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, with Governor Babagana Umar Zulum making the show more colorful. Pauline Kujevana will now tell us more.
The multipurpose hall of Government House brimmed with enthusiasm and solidarity witnessed a convergence of resilient women of Borno State to commemorate this year's International Women's Day, acknowledging their invaluable contributions to political and socio-economic growth and development of the society. Governor Zulum and Dr. Falmata Zulum delivered inspiring addresses, emphasizing the crucial role women play in the socio-economic fabric of the state, stressing the need to enroll the girl child in school, describing women as providers of essential ingredients for societal development, hence government's commitment to empowering them and support more of them as medical doctors, nurses, midwifery and teachers.
Want to women to form your groups, cooperative societies, so that government will form the cooperative societies.
Economic empowerment is important, but education is the most important.
Commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Development Zoe Ragambo underscored the importance of recognizing and uplifting women's rights, echoing the global call for gender equality and empowerment.
This is an indication that the women of Borno will continue to grow from strength to strength, and he has promised to support us in the areas of education.
As a gesture of empowerment, each of the 3,000 women was given 50,000 naira, a 25 kg bag of rice, a carton of spaghetti and vegetable oil.
The fasting period is coming. It is so desirable that we need these items now.
This year's International Women's Day celebrations in Borno served as a beacon of hope and empowerment, igniting a renewed commitment to the advancement of women and their well-being. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Very well, Pauline. And away from the Women's Day celebration in Maiduguri for now, in an effort to closely monitor teachers' presence and evaluate students' turnout and performances, Borno State Ministry of Education has embarked on an unscheduled visit to schools across the state. Led by the Commissioner, Lawan Abbo Kilbe, the monitoring team spent 2 days each in Goza, Askira-Uba, Chibok, and Damboa local government areas of Borno State. Here again is Pauline Kujevana with the rest of the story.
The 2-day visit to inspect schools in Goza began at Government Day Secondary School Pulka, where the commissioner expressed satisfaction with the learning outcomes and urged for sustainability, accompanied by the chairman Teaching Service Board (TSB), Professor Suleiman Bello, and other staff. The team also visited Ngoshe town to inspect the secondary school construction project and assure the community that Government Secondary School Ngoshe will soon reopen.
We are going to send books and uniforms to these children. Since this many are in school, you can see some of them are without books and uniforms. So we'll send it directly. In
Goza town, Wakilbe paid homage to the Emir Mohammed Idris Atimta and briefed him on the ongoing activities in the local government area, where the royal father praised the outcome. The team conducted inspection at Government Day Secondary School, Government Girls Secondary School, Central Primary and Junior Day Schools, and Sabongari School, all in Goza. Additionally, Wakilbe inspected Limankara Primary and Junior Day Schools before proceeding to schools in Isge, where he expressed dissatisfaction with the low turnout of teachers and called for immediate corrective measures to be taken. Goza, one of the areas was hit by the Boko Haram insurgency, has seen a resurgence in educational opportunities through the renovation and construction of new schools, aiming to bridge the gap created by the insurgents' actions. The Commissioner, Lawan Abbo Kilbe, also visited Askira-Uba, Chibok, and Damboa local government areas on a similar mission. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. Let's take a break here. Ogochukwuka in Abuja will be back with more stories for us shortly.
Thank you for staying tuned. Niger State government has met with chairmen of the 25 local government areas in the state, traditional and religious leaders, in order to formulate modalities for the fair distribution of grains released by the federal government to the vulnerable members of the society. Hussein Amusa reports that during the engagement, Governor Mohammed Umar Bago also announced the release of 1 billion naira to facilitate state government's feeding program during the month of Ramadan across the 25 local government areas of the state.
Of the 42,000 metric tons of grains released by the federal government, Niger State has been allocated 46 trailers comprising maize, millet and sorghum, with the state government complementing the palliative distribution with 120 trucks of assorted grains, including rice. This meeting is therefore saddled with the responsibility of working out modalities to ensure even distribution of the palliatives to the deserving beneficiaries through the representations of the local government councils, traditional institutions, and religious leaders.
Our efforts will be taken to account. So it's not about just Muslims, it's a national project. It's not about even APC, it's about Nigeria.
And we're already gotten sort of a network of how we reach our people. Because we believe strongly, going by this traditional institution, we already got a laid down network of reaching out to people. We have district heads, we have village heads, we have ward heads.
In the same vein, a Ramadan feeding committee, a religious program of the state government, has been constituted. The committee is expected to come up with modalities that include the points of distribution, cooks and other persons to be engaged to ensure a hitch-free exercise. The committee is expected to submit its report immediately. In Mina, Hussaina Musa, NTA News.
And next is sports update with Uche Ngbede as our guide. And that's Nationwide Package today. Thank you for watching. Good evening.